Now, if you're a keyboard enthusiast, an elite typer, or a gamer, chances are you're familiar with the name Cherry MX. They are the switches that you can find in pretty much any mechanical keyboard on the market today. They have absolutely dominated the keyboard arena. Well, a year ago I sat down with Cooler Master and they showed me something that I have been absolutely dying to take a look at. And we're finally gonna take a look at it. I am excited to bring you guys my review of the Cooler Master Novatouch TKL keyboard. Now, when the box looks as nice as this, you know there's something special inside. That's got a very elegant look. I mean, even the box has this magnetic flap right here. Once you cut the seal, you get this magnetic flap, which brings us to the inside of the box and the goodness right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this thing from the box for just a moment and we will come back to this. Inside the package is all the stuff you would expect. Quick start guide, your braided USB, micro USB with 90-degree bend and gold-plated plug, which you would come to expect. This right here is actually something I'm very interested to talk about as well. And of course, you get your keycap puller, and it is all protected in this very nice, soft foam material. Now, what we have right here is the Novatouch TKL. And I know that because it says so right there on the back. I can read. I recently learned, I recommend you guys do it if you don't know how to read. Now here it is right here. But don't let this unassuming appearance fool you. In fact, this might actually look really familiar to you as I reach across the camera unprepared here, because this right here is the Cooler Master Quickfire Rapid Eye. You might notice they actually look very, very similar. I am pretty convinced that they actually used the exact same housing for the Rapid Eye as they did for the Novatouch. Now that's not the part that's really all that interesting about this. Now what the hell is a Novatouch switch? I can hear you guys asking right now through the camera, and I haven't even put this video online yet. Well, it's actually a hybrid switch. Each switch on the PCB has its own contact point, its own PCB at the bottom of the switch, a return spring, an electrostatic layer which actually makes compression and makes completes a circuit on that PCB telling the system that you just pushed the button, and it has the actual switch housing which is backwards compatible with Cherry MX keycaps. Now, one of the concerns I had about this keyboard when it was first introduced to me was, well, what about the keycap? People sometimes like to buy custom keys or get custom keys made or have custom colors going on. That's what's really cool about the fact that it is Cherry MX backwards compatible, is your keycaps will still work on here like any other Cherry MX keycap. Now, what makes the Novatouch different than mechanical keys and what does it feel like? Well, pretty much it's absolutely smooth. From the moment you press it to the moment you depress it, it has got the exact same feel. It has absolutely no hump, and it's very, very consistent. That's because it's actually being returned by a traditional spring. Now it's got a 45-gram actuation weight, which is the same as a Cherry MX Red, so it's got a familiar weight to it. But the spring is able to push the key back into its depressed position 3 times faster than a Cherry mechanical switch. So that means elite typists, super fast typists, amazing gamers whose fingers move faster than a concert pianist. Pianist is kind of a funny word, isn't it? I just got off topic. You're gonna find that your typing speeds are no longer hindered by the speed of a mechanical keyboard. Now I can kind of hear some of you guys already saying, well, I'm not being hindered by a mechanical switch anyway. Well, believe it or not, there are people out there who type upwards of 200 plus words per minute, who would certainly be exceeding the rebound rate of most mechanical switches. This actually solves that. Now this thing does feature a 1000 hertz or a 1 millisecond polling rate, which means that the keyboard is looking for a key press every 1 millisecond. Now it comes with all of the traditional functions you would expect from any mechanical keyboard. It's got N key rollover, it's got all that sort of stuff. It's got your multimedia function buttons along the top. But you're gonna notice it's missing a lot of things. It's got no macro keys, it's got no 10 key pad. It's actually very, very unassuming. You would look at this and you would have no idea that this actually has some of the best feeling switches in there that you could ever type on. Now I played around with this keyboard a bit before this video, and I have to say it is one of the best typing experiences I have ever had. Now it takes a little bit of getting used to because it does have a slightly different feel where the switch is extremely consistent throughout the entire push. In fact, Cherry Mechanical, even red switches don't feel as smooth as this guy. Now, one of the things that Cooler Master included in the packaging, which I think is absolutely phenomenal, is this small baggie of drugs. No, I mean O-rings. It's O-rings, that's right, O-rings. That's what came in there. Now, these O-rings are intended to go onto your keycaps, which allows you to actually dampen out the way the key feels when it bottoms out and is fully depressed. That's kind of neat because this is a mod that a lot of keyboards enthusiasts were doing. They were finding these small O-rings online on eBay, they were buying them up, and they were putting them on the keycaps in order to kind of soften and dampen out the key press. Now, Cooler Master's gone ahead and cut out the middleman and just included it with the keyboard. So kudos Cooler Master on that for giving me this little dime baggie of O-rings. Now, as always, there are some things I would have liked to have seen a little bit different if I'm gonna go ahead and be subjective here rather than objective. Objectively, this keyboard delivers exactly what it promises. An elite typing experience, absolutely unmatched by anything Cherry MX has in its current lineup or offering. And it's gonna make you feel like your fingers are just absolute gods when it comes to typing. Now, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the portion of the video here where I tell you some things that I would have personally liked to see on here. And this is 100% subjective at this point. This is my opinion. You may not agree with me, and that is perfectly okay. One, I need a 10 keypad. I do a lot of number crunching sometimes. Sometimes that's kind of contradicting itself already. I use the number pad a lot. I do my finances and stuff on here, and I'm always using that 10 keypad. But with that, there would be a cost increase because there would be that many more switches to include. Now, I would have been okay with maybe a small macro row and a 10 key that didn't feature the Novatouch switches. Even if they were membrane or a Cherry MX switch, that would have been okay too. A lot of keyboards will do that, where the QWERTY portion of the keyboard is a Cherry or a mechanical switch, and then the other portions of the keyboard are not. In fact, Corsair did that with their early versions of the K series keyboards, the K70 and whatnot. Now, I also would have really liked to see backlighting. For a keyboard as expensive as this, backlighting would have been nice to have. But I am also aware that the Novatouch switches are not cheap. They are pretty much considered the best of the best if you ask any sort of elite typist or someone who types for a living, like a courtroom stenographer or photographer, or I guess whatever they do. The people who type super, super fast, those people who do closed captioning live on TV, they are the people who type so fast, they notice the technologies that are present in these keyboards. Now, I also know that that would have also increased pricing as well. Now, if you're interested in taking a look at this keyboard, I have put some links down in the description where you can go and check out the specs and reviews and what other people are saying about this keyboard as well. But hang on to your pocketbook because this is by far not exactly budget friendly. But if you want to have the most elite typing experience that you can possibly have, the Novatouch TKL has certainly lived up to its promises. All right, guys, this has been the Novatouch TKL from CM Storm, aka Cooler Master. Tell me what you guys think. What keyboards are you using? Tell us down in the comments section. I'm interested in seeing what keyboard you guys are using and why you chose the keyboards that you did. You'd be surprised how many times I'm asked about keyboards, and guys, keyboards are, in my opinion, 100% subjective. We all have different needs and what we like to use when it comes to our day-to-day keyboards. Guys, it's been JayzTwoCents. Follow on that social media, that Twitter thing. I spend an awful lot of time over there. Also, check down the description. You'll find some links to some different affiliate codes and things that you guys can do to save some money or support the channel if you'd like. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. This thing is freaking badass. I'm just gonna say it.